Hello everyone. So in this video, we are going to do something on cloud by Python, like generally everyone do who make such videos. But before getting started, we should have a big question in mind why we are doing it. Otherwise, after a couple of seconds or minutes, if I'm lucky to stretch your attention, you may find this boring and start looking for something else. So if you are someone who prefer doing their job by browsing only and copying other people's codes, or blindly follow tools which create scripts, maybe some AI base. I'll not prefer taking name. Audience itself is pretty smart. Then you may skip this video. But if you stay with me till the end, one thing I can assure you that after this, you will get an idea how to start creating a code for your requirement. Now coming to the actual blueprint, we are going to write a Python code which is going to communicate with AWS Cloud with the help of Boto3 SDK. List the EC2 available in a region, take their snapshots, and display the result back to the console. Now, similar cycle of steps can be used for deletion of snapshot or to gather list of available snapshots only. Now, before writing anything new, I would like to show you the demo, exactly how your script will look and how it will perform. So, Python, I just made a copy of that script, test.py. So as of now, it's going to just validate the script syntax and go with the next step. So it will give you a parsing like message that how you can use the script, put a -h, and let's see what all things it has provided to us. Now, obviously it has provided us with a create snap option by which you can take a snapshot. It will go make a API connection, bring the snapshot stages. Then the another operation would be list snap, obviously, which will give you listing of the snapshot in their stages. So you will notice that 2 snapshots are completed and 3 are still pending. And last but not the least, that is delete snap, and it's going to delete the snapshot for you. Delete operations are always risky, so beware what you're going to do. So that's how it's going to delete the snapshot for you. Okay, starting with, so let's quickly import a Boto3 module. Now let's make some connections. So I'm first making a session connection. And I have some profile created in my environment. So I'll give their name directly rather than just putting the credentials or exposing my credentials over here. And I'm defining a region where I would like to operate upon. And fixing some errors. Now let me quickly put it inside a string so that it is easy to use. Now my AWS con is going to provide a session area. Now let me quickly create another variable for a client thing, and let me quickly use my session stuff over here. Invoke the client method. Then with which service I want to interact with. So I want to interact with EC2 and the region name I want to provide. So I'll copy it from here. Okay, till now it's looking good. Now, since we have to retrieve the EC2 details, so I'll just put it inside another variable and I'll simply use my EC2 client method. And we will use describe instances. So that we quickly got. Now, so before retrieving anything, first try to see exactly what we get inside the EC2 detail. So I know it's a dictionary. So first quickly put it inside a variable and display the result. I'm simply using a variable where I'm using EC2 details, and then there's a key, reservations. If you don't know, I would simply encourage to print the stuff. Let's quickly try to execute our code and see if we get any errors. Okay, we received a couple of errors. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, obviously a syntax one. Now let me quickly fix that and execute again. Okay, now a typo. I hope nothing else. So it's going to make connection to my EC2 account or AWS account and then retrieving the values. So you may notice that it's actually going to retrieve some reservation key. It's a dictionary that's actually, and what we need is reservation from here. And after that, it would be a list and then instances from here. And then obviously retrieve the values of a requirement. So that is actually a complete data and you would not like to print like that. Let me comment that and retrieve the value from that dictionary. Okay, so now it will provide me a complete list that whatever is inside the reservation. So I'll put another loop. And the variable name would be instance. Okay, and the key I would like to fetch is instances. And here we go. Now again, if you want, you can print the value from here that what is going to provide you. And I'm more comfortable in using instance ID. And let's see, did that make any difference? Okay, so in this manner, you can simply retrieve the values of the instance ID. But that is not our goal. So I'm going to comment that again. I just want to show you exactly how I can print one value. So I would prefer putting it inside a variable. So give some meaningful name to it. And in similar manner, I would prefer retrieving the root device name or the root disk name. No worries. And the value would be instance, then block device mappings. It would present in front of you a list. So you have to pull the first element of the list. And again, some dictionary values that you need to pick upon. Either you can pause this video, scroll it backwards and see the dictionary output, or you can print each and every dictionary element by yourself. And I'm not very fond of this value. So So in this manner, we would retrieve instance ID and the instance disk name. Now let's quickly take a snapshot of the VM. So I'll put it inside a snapshot variable. And for that, we need to create a EC2 resource. So let me quickly create an EC2 resource. Obviously, I'm creating EC2 resource variable over here. So it will be simply AWS con resource, and which resource we want to deal with. That is simply EC2. Okay. So I'll go with the snapshot thing now. Pick that variable, use create snapshot method. I would prefer putting the documentation for that in the note section, so you can always refer that, what all other value it provide that can suit your needs. Now, volume ID, it's a mandatory argument. So inside that, I'll put the root disk ID, of which I want to take the snapshot. Then any tag specifications I want to give, because unless your snapshot is not identified properly, it would be a waste to identify it. Now, I'll put some values over here for that. That is what type of resource type it is. It's a snapshot resource. Let me put for some tag for that as well. Now key for a tag, so use a name key, and I don't want my snapshot value to be hard coded, so I prefer putting some F string over here. Hyphen, and I would prefer substituting with some unique values so that it will make more sense to us. What is the instance ID? What is the root device ID? Obviously, you can skip the section if you want to keep your stanza more cleaner. Then let me put a trailing comma just to keep the sanity of the things. Again, okay, my bad. Again, a comma to keep the sanity and the elements going in the list. And now that's done. So now we can simply put a print to capture what we have captured till now. Captured is just formatting how you want to do that. For EC2, again a comma, and which instance ID I want to take. So this one, then is, and what is the name of the variable? Snapshot. Okay, snapshot, sorry. So I'll put it with a snapshot. So is snapshot dot ID, and just try to see if we can get that going, because you already written a lot of things, so I'm assuming maybe some type of errors. So now it's going to make a connection to the AWS UI, and I would say API call, and obviously capturing a snapshot. So you would notice the snapshots are captured, and that is what we are looking for. Now, just to avoid its misuse, let's quickly put it inside a function so that it can only be called when we want to call it. So let me remove that line, it's not required. Just put a diff create snapshot function. Okay, for this stanza, I would like to add some indentation. Okay, so our snapshot function is ready. Maybe for the next section, we would start creating listing snapshot. We will start creating from the function only. That's how you can take a snapshot. Now the next task is to list the snapshot. So just inside a variable. I don't know my fat fingers, so I do not take snapshot word. That's fine. Okay, so we'll use the EC2 client. And here we're going to describe snapshots. Now you can substitute here the required owner IDs. If it's not you, but if it's you can simply put a self over here. And then which field you want to retrieve. So in this variable, we will retrieve the snapshot which we have captured. Now, obviously, printing that would be a lot of hell. Let's see what we get at this point. Okay, my error. So as of now, we're not printing it because obviously it's not reading the snapshot values. So quickly first traverse through it and then do the next stuff. Print whatever message you want to print. I'll just doing cherry picking of the cake, so just to make it more meaningful. Appending some tabs. And just to avoid getting that line printing again and again for us, first bring that outside the loop. Otherwise, it will keep on. It's a static thing, so I'm not very keen on putting it inside a loop. Now print. What field you want to print from the dictionary? So snapshot, and the very first field is snapshot ID. I think if the name is correct, it should not give any error. Okay, then my next field would be just a separator, just to keep things pretty cleaner. Then the third field would be obviously the snapshot again, and Is it same? And yes, it's again a same field. The start time, when we start taking the snapshot, then obviously again separating through with a separator, and then snapshot, and obviously the next field I'm interested in is state. Obviously I would like to get rid of these warnings, which is pretty irritating. And snapshot, and obviously at the end the volume ID. Well, before proceeding, I would like to see if we are getting the things actually printing in sequence, or before calling this, maybe we can simply add one more line that print. So generating the current list of snapshot. Okay, so it's just a static message, then a static field, and then obviously our snapshot IDs that we have captured. The first one is in a function, so only thing that's going to execute over here is this list segment. And let's see. Okay, so I am getting this error. List snapshot, it describes snapshots. List indices must be an integer or slices, and it should not be a string. Now, let me quickly go back to the code again. Then list snapshot, EC to client, describing snapshots. We are putting owner IDs as self, and actual, this is the error which I am going to retrieve because it would be a snapshot ID for it. Now let's quickly see if it fixed it or still needs some more medication. That error solved. Something else, some fishy error that I have made. Apologies again for this error solving, obviously. Okay, this is fine. This look fine to me. Then snapshot ID, then comma separator, next comma start time, then separator, obviously a snapshot in the state, and a separator and snapshot and a volume ID. Oh, I do not see anything that can cause a problem. But obviously this line have the problem, so yeah, braces are closed fine, variables are called fine. Just for the sanity purpose, okay. Oh, all commas are fine. Okay, let's try to run that again. The error is snapshot ID, and where I have to get the first value. So what it should be? I think I believe I got the error. I was just doing some random troubleshooting and believing this is something which is case sensitive, and obviously we are getting errors. Now, finger crossed for the next set of error. Now again, the same boring theory, it's going to make an API call. But before that, it again gave you an error. And again, I made the same mistake. The volume ID, my fat fingers is causing wonders over here. Now let me quickly fix that for you. You will be having a complete compiled code, so hopefully you will not see that. Now, you will notice that some static field, obviously bit misoriented, which is going to display you snapshot ID, the timing when it started, the state of the snapshot, and obviously which volume ID it has procured. So in this manner, you can look into the snapshot thing. Now, again, to make things more cleaner, let's put it inside a function so that it will not be invoked uselessly. Now, how to write a function? Again, diff. I should have talked it about when I'm writing the first function, but again, how you can write a function? just a def keyword, then snapshot, any names you can give. Now, obviously, I'm not giving any arguments over here, so I prefer putting inside a tab, one more tab, and that looks pretty clean. And in the indentation. And now comes the most important part, that is deleting the snapshot. And trust me, no one like to delete the things because it's very easy to delete a thing, but very hard to get it back. So again, we are going to use client method and describing the snapshot first. Putting the owner IDs, that's only me. Obviously, in your environment, it's you. And gathering over snapshots. Now just traversing over a list. Now print with snapshot, it is going to delete. Then obviously snapshot and okay, the variable name over here is snapshots, and obviously the snapshot ID. Firstly print. Now first we print it, which what we are going to is delete. Then obviously using another variable, delete snapshot, and hopefully I'm not just duplicating the variables, otherwise it would be a problematic situation for me. Delete, we're using delete snapshot function this time. Out of the relevant field, I'm only putting snapshot ID and snapshot again with the snapshot ID stuff. And that actually pointed me another error. Otherwise, we would have faced that. Okay, seems pretty beautiful. Let's see how beautiful it looks in action. Few more seconds of wait before any error or an execution. And yes, again my fat finger typo. Okay, so again a mismatch of variables. I'm using a variable name over snapshot says here, and out of habit I'm writing snapshot only. So hopefully it should not throw any other errors. And bingo, we have deleted that snapshot as well. And obviously, for obvious reasons, this is a more strong content, so better put it inside a function. Just increase the indentation of the stuff. Now my delete function is also ready. Now, as I told earlier, we would do some icing the cake stuff. So for that, I'm going to use the argparse module. Those who don't know how to use argparse, they can always refer my older videos. Just using a variable parser, then using some argparse values, then argument parser, And inside the argument parser, I'm going to provide the arguments, so which will be here as a description. So what description you want to provide? So understanding usage of snapshot script. Okay, I've given it a description. Now let's go to another field. So parser dot, I'm going to add an argument over here. What action I want to be performed by my script. So just adding a help page for it. Triple quotes just to make sure that my content will spawn over multiple lines. And just scroll a bit to make the page more easier. Operations include some cherry icing the cake only. And it's not liking my tabs, obviously. Create a snap function that is actually going to take a snapshot capture for you. Again, some list snap argument that is going to perform snapshot listing, and at the end delete snap, which is going to perform a snapshot deletion. And with that, removing the junk characters, closing this thing, and Visual Studio Code is happy thing now. Now what arguments I want to provide? So I'm putting in the args, then parser dot pass args, and it has closed my arguments which I want to provide. Some errors again. Now let me put a condition just to pass these things. What variable I have taken, that is action. So if args dot action is equals to, if you find an action name, create snap. I'll copy from here just to avoid any errors in V getting troubleshooting thing. Now what you will do, I prefer two things from it. Take a snapshot, so invoke that function and obviously list those snapshots as well. There's no harm in doing that thing. Okay, now that is fine. Elif, in case my args.argument, which is action in our case, I hope I'm using action only, that is list snap. So you simply mean you want to list the snapshots. Now, so that I don't have to copy paste the things. So it will simply list the snapshots for you. Again, one more elif statement, that is args.action is equals to delete snap, then obviously go with the delete snapshot function. And if anything else, we can always feel free to print, or you can also put an error handling, up to you. Operations provided, and thank you. Never forget to thank your audience. Okay, so let's see what errors or what my fat fingers has done. Okay, our arc parser is working fine. Now put a simple H. Okay, it is asking you to provide a valid operation or valid function. Now try to put a create snap. Let's see if it's going to, okay, create snapshots for me and list them as well. Again, the same old bullshit. It will go to the make API calls, go to the console and bring the things for you. But it has done. But again, there is some error for it. Okay, list snapshot is not defined and mean let's do listing snapshots. Let's see line number 60 list snapshot I have provided over here, and it is saying it is not defined. Okay, let me see. Okay, it is listing snapshot. So let me obviously the function name is wrong, which I have provided at both the places. So hopefully it should fix the thing for me. Let me quickly just do a list snap as well. Okay, so it's working fine, and just for the sanity purpose, let's quickly switch to the console and see is all the snapshots created successfully or not. Okay, I can see 5 snapshot of my root volume. Now coming back and just trying the delete snap thing as well. And you would notice that the snapshots are deleted. There's always no harm in cross-verifying from the portal, and everything is removed as expected. So this is actually the script. I'm going to put in the note section. Hopefully you would like the effort, and with great heart, you will pardon me for all those errors that we encountered in the script. The script is provided in the note section for testing, so you can download from the GitHub link, and do let me know with the feedbacks. Did it work in your environment? Any issues, any errors, you will get the script. Do let me know with those errors and we can try to fix them collectively. Till then, have a nice day. Bye.